So Nat's method is to build a table underneath the bottom of the strake and then put the bottom skin on that table and curve it up a bit at the front and uh, bond the two ribs onto the skin and the spar. And once you have the rest of the internal bulkheads bonded onto the bottom skin, then bond the top skin on. The Cozy Girrrls have suggested a different plan, which is to essentially bond the ribs directly to the spar and a forward bulkhead along the front, and that would make it suspended such that the rib structure with the forward bulkhead suspended without a table so that you could bond the top skin on temporarily, make these nice little hat sections, pull it off, and then bond the bottom skin on, do a really nice job, paint it all with sealant and epoxy, and then bond that top skin on. Jim Springer's idea, who's the guy who started our project, is to essentially do very similar to what the Cozy Girrrls had suggested, but instead of relying on just that front bulkhead to maintain the ribs in their alignment, his idea is to build it like a model airplane and have sort of temporary rods that run down through the ribs and use those to establish, level and this temporary structure while you're doing the building. So let's take a look at what his plan is. Here's the basic structure of the Strakes. You can see the two main ribs here, and then these cross bulkheads and baffles in these sections, and then some like two individual bulkheads running along the front. The Cozy Girrrls plan is to take this front bulkhead, make it one long bulkhead, and actually have it extend all the way to the wing root, put another rib here, and just have that be your whole structure. Jim's idea is essentially this. And he's got these aluminum rods that will be temporary, and we will anchor them inboard and outboard and level them up and make sure that everything is square before bonding. Here are the parts for the left side. I've measured them, so I'll just go through all of them. This is 1.5" aluminum tubing. It's approximately 62 inches long. It's got a 45 on both sides. The front bulkhead is 74.1 inches long by 1.58. The notch for the butt line 33 is at 17.7. And the notch at butt line 57 is 54.7. 33 bulkhead. You really only need to know where this hole is. It's 3.5 inches from the bottom at this point, which is 30.5 inches from the back. And then this notch here, this part of this notch here is 45.4 inches. That actually would be on the inside because the butt line is on, I think, on the outside. Yeah. So this is a measure on the inside face. Happens to be. And then the 57 rib. This hole is 2.5 inches from here, and it is 14.35 inches from the back, and this notch is 20.8 inches. This part of the notch is 20.8 inches from the back, and again, this is measured on the inside face. The butt line face is actually this face here. Another thing that's handy to have is one of these. It is a tape measure measured in tenths, so helpful for building airplanes. Here's our setup for shooting the laser plumb lines to establish the different water lines and butt lines. And this line's being shot down, water line 17.4. This line of Sharpie marks here that establishes fuselage station 60, and then we've got a horizontal line here and here. This line here on the bottom is even with the bottom of the strake, and then we have come back to the back here, and we've brought those along this 17.4 line. Keeps going all the way out. Here is the butt line for the inboard rib, and here is the butt line for the outboard rib. We got this temporarily set up here, so in order to get the tubes out, the wing will have to come out. The idea of a closeout rib to support the skin would need to accommodate pulling the tubes out. Getting the height adjustment on the ribs, I'm thinking what I'll do is figure out exactly how thick our skins are, and then basically glue a piece of foam underneath the strake with hot glue and a little block that's the right height. I kind of like this. I can shoot lasers, the laser plumb line down the butt line and get things lined up fore and aft. You know, we can shoot some lines across and make sure that everything is going to line up where we want on the fuselage. My big questions are, what am I going to do? When am I going to take the wings off is really the question. And then having to work around these tubes while I'm gluing stuff in is something to think about. We got the 33 rib in place, 57 rib placed and marked on the center tubes. And then I've got this ladder bulkhead that runs along the front in place. But what's happening is that here at the end, the bulkhead's overlapping that front tube. And that front tube is also going to be tough to get out of this false rib that I've got placed here at the end. So I think what I'm going to try is removing this front tube and using this front bulkhead as our leveling reference. Let's see how that works out. This is looking pretty good, actually. Better than expected. This is the 57 rib is still lined up with my marks and with this batten that I've got set up here. Interestingly, this matches really nicely up here. It's matching at the front. If I just pull it in a little bit, it's matching at the rear. And then this piece is going to slide on this false rib right down. So I will still have two stiff beams holding the front in both dimensions, in all three dimensions. I think this is going to work out great. We've got the first step of bonding on the ribs and forward ladder done. Just butt jointed with flocks and epoxy. We'll come back tomorrow and fill it and tape all of this. I think it's looking pretty good. This has all been leveled. There is a little bit of misalignment between the 33 bulkhead and the end bulkhead, but we'll go ahead and be able to fair that in, I think, with the skins and the any foam on the front there. That'll blend in well. Plans, skins, the masking tape on the outboard skin shows the plans extents, and the inboard skin obviously hasn't been shaped yet, but you can see that the plans expect you to end the skin on the bulkhead that runs right here, that runs here, and then put a big piece of fairing foam in there and just carve it down, versus I think the CozyGirrl's plan is actually to have the skin go all the way to that outboard rib, which is what we're going to attempt. So I may need to remake that outboard skin, but we'll see. Measuring the left side, maybe a couple process improvements. That's marked at 33 and 57. This is marked at 33, and then this is marked at 33, and that little mark there is 24 inches from that, so that should be 57. To be determined whether or not I think this having the aluminum rods is really worth the trouble. Certainly, I've come to the conclusion that only one is needed. The one he's got in the middle. The one in the front actually starts to impede with too many other things. The other thing I realized here a little bit late in the game is that I'm going to have to take the wings off and remove that center rod in order to get the OD baffle bulkhead in, since that actually crosses right here. There's a couple of nail holes where I think the original builder had kind of prefixed it. I think given, sort of the CozyGirrrl's idea here of doing the top skin temporarily, and or basically the CozyGirrrls and Jim's idea of removing the table is a good way to go. Although at the end of the day, we'll see exactly how square and true this thing turns out to be. But as far as setup and building, it's pretty straightforward to do it this way. We have the left wing dry fit, kind of laser line shot. Everything's looking square and level. Okay, we got the right side floxed and taped. Yeah, so this is looking pretty good. 1-ply bid, flox corners, peel ply, safety epoxy or easy epoxy. Left side bonding step 1 done. Also patched up this hole, which is mostly going to be covered by the skin, and then actually this back section will be opened up for the baggage compartment. We got the second layup with the 1-ply bid and flox corners cleaned up on the right side, and we've got our bulkheads dry fit. Got a couple little things to hold them in place from underneath, and we'll bond that up with some dabs of flox, and then we'll come back and we'll fill it and put a ply bid on those, and then we'll be ready to start working on the top skin. We got the second layup on the left side. You can go ahead and end this video at this step. Again, we'll smash some Supercub flying on the end of this and build on.
Wheels are spinning, kicking dirt so high. Dust clouds rise like whispers to the sky. Wind is howling, it's a rebel's tune. This cockpit's mine, I'm chasing the moon. I'm flying low, I'm flying wild, through the storm like a fearless child. Push the throttle, hear the engine sing. Through the gale, I got my wings. Trees below are waving their goodbyes. The patchwork quilt of earth and endless skies. Turbulent shakes, but I don't let go. This roaring bird, it's all I know. I'm flying low, proud. I'm untamed, I'm breaking every cloud. Stealing dreams hold me up so high. A bush plane queen, I rule